For the last 30 years, it has been woven into the fabric of America's educational curriculum that if you want to be successful in life, a college degree is a must. But why? Maybe it's due to the savvy marketing of college recruiters, or maybe it's because this has been the path of almost all high school educators guiding students today. Or perhaps this was even true 3 decades ago, and we have simply failed to adjust. According to The Economist, rising fees and increasing student debt, combined with shrinking financial and educational returns, is undermining at least the perception that college is a good investment. Well, we are now almost 2 decades into the 21st century, and to say that this one-size-fits-all career approach is outdated would be a huge understatement. Let's take a look at some of the factors you should consider before launching off or encouraging someone else to launch off on a career path that may not be worth it. And because we would never present you a problem without a solution, we will also take a look at why what some would consider an alternative career should actually be at the top of your list. Let's begin with student debt. In 2017, it was estimated that Americans owed more than $1.45 trillion in student loan debt. Now, this number can be difficult to fathom without some additional perspective, so let's try this. With $1.45 trillion, you could purchase every NFL, NBA, and MLB team 12 times. Or how about this? If you had $1 million in a stack of $100 bills, that stack would be about 43 inches high. If you had $1.45 trillion stacked up in $100 bills, that stack would climb 983 miles into the sky. In addition to the sheer amount of debt being accumulated, there are a growing number of borrowers who simply can't pay it back, with the delinquency rate in 2017 soaring to an unthinkable 11.2%. But why are we having more problems now than we've had in decades past? To answer that, let's take a step back to 1990, when the average investment in 1 year of college tuition at a 4-year institution averaged $7,602. Fast forward to the most recent school year, and that same average has ballooned to $24,610. Now, most of that can be blamed on inflation, right? Wrong. In that same amount of time, the median household income in the United States has gone from just under $30,000 in 1990 to just over $59,000 in 2016. So if the median household income has gone up by 97%, why has the cost of college skyrocketed by 324%, leading to the average debt per graduate rising for the past 27 consecutive years? Did you know that according to the 2015 Gallup-Purdue Index report, only 50% of college graduates could strongly agree that their college education was worth the cost? Of the 67 million college graduates in America, this means more than 33 million people at least somewhat regret their decision to attend college. And this only takes into account those individuals who actually finished. According to the educational nonprofit National Student Clearinghouse, only 53% of students who begin a 4-year degree program are finishing within 6 years, with the average time it takes to attain a bachelor's degree climbing to 5.6 calendar years. I guess 5.6-year degree doesn't sound quite as catchy. Common sense and economics 101 tell us when the cost of something has more than doubled after accounting for inflation, and those who chose that option before us are regretting it in significant numbers, it might be worth a closer look as to whether or not that is still worth the investment. And much of that analysis will revolve around what your options are outside of that investment. After all, if college was the only gig in town, it would be easy to say everyone should get a degree. But that is not the case. The commercial construction industry is a legitimate option that far too many people have labeled as alternative, something to pursue only if you don't make the college cut. Are we really naive enough to believe that a bunch of individuals who aren't even capable of going to college are somehow erecting billion-dollar buildings? I don't think so. These are people who have simply chosen a different career path, and you might be surprised at just how fruitful that path can be. For example, becoming an electrician requires you to complete an apprenticeship after high school. This is typically a 4-year process that combines classroom and on-the-job training. Not only are you earning a living while learning the skills you need, but you accumulate zero student debt, and you can begin your career making as much as $65,000. Becoming a carpenter requires a similar process, and you can begin your career making as much as $60,000. This industry has dozens more career opportunities to choose from, almost all of which are in high demand, rank high in job satisfaction, and require zero student debt. To be clear, we are not suggesting that everyone who is college-bound needs to drop their plans and report to the nearest construction site. We are suggesting, however, that if a young person is preparing to invest more than $100,000 and 4 to 6 years of their life, it is worth the time to get all of the facts. If you're a young person, a parent, an educator, or anyone else interested in more information, visit buildiowa.org for information on careers, career paths, and training opportunities. With Master Builders of Iowa and buildiowa.org, I'm Micah Lovelace.